There are times when I have a pretty good idea of the type of painting that I want to do, and I'll have at least a little bit of a plan, but this isn't one of those times. I don't really know what I feel like doing, and I just have to sit down and start painting. I've been really loving earthy browns lately, so I chose a raw umber and also a phthalo blue because it looks so beautiful mixed with the raw umber, and it's also just a bit of a comfort color for me. I don't always feel this way, but sometimes a blank canvas or panel can feel really intimidating. And when that happens, I find that choosing a couple of colors and playing around with them can be a really great guide. Even if all of those early layers end up being covered, which sometimes they do, they are still acting as a way in. And I think for many of us, it's the getting started that can be the really hard part sometimes. But once you get some marks down, you have something to react to. And you can just keep moving forward from there, making one decision after another. I introduced a couple more colors, a Payne's Gray and a red iron oxide. At this point, I was starting to get an inkling that this was going to be an ocean sort of piece, so I started to lean into that a little bit more. But I also wanted to keep things rather abstract, and so the focus is still playing with the paint, moving it around, and making interesting marks. Adding another color, this time a transparent yellow iron oxide, which makes a rather beautiful green with this phthalo blue. And even though I wasn't totally intending to, I established a bit of a horizon line here. So this is where the ocean abstract takes a turn and starts being a seascape. Even though it's taken this turn to looking a bit more representational, I still want the marks to feel a bit abstract or impressionistic. I'm not at all interested in this looking like a realistic photograph or anything like that. I want it to have some movement and life to it. Using a catalyst tool to drag paint across a piece is one of my very favorite ways of making marks. It's just so different from brush strokes, which adds interest to a piece, and it's also a bit unpredictable. You never know exactly what it's going to look like, which makes it feel a bit like you're collaborating with the paint, and I almost always love the marks that this technique gives me. Carving through the paint with the end of a brush or a catalyst is also a really fun way to make marks. Now that the composition is starting to come together, it feels like a good time to add some little details. At this point, I'm trying to make sure that there are some nice contrast happening in the values, in the light and the dark. So I'm adding some light, almost white, so that things aren't too mid-value, because that can make a painting look quite boring. I'm also trying to make sure that there is some differences in sizes of marks and that there are quiet areas for my eye to rest. So if you are feeling a bit intimidated about that blank canvas or just not sure where to start, I hope this has given you a little bit of encouragement or ideas of places to start. And I wish you happy painting, and I hope it goes really well. If it doesn't, that's okay. It's just paint. We can paint over it, and it's always going to create an awesome underpainting for something tomorrow, because you won't have a blank canvas next time. You'll have something to start with to react to. Anyway, yeah, happy painting. Love ya. Bye.